What's going on, guys? Today is the 22nd of January 2021. My name is David and this is my YouTube channel, Personal Finance. This is my first video ever, so yeah, hip hip hooray for me. But basically why I made this channel is to, help people with their personal finance, because I realize more and more often that, a lot of my peers don't really understand personal finance, investments, and all that good stuff. But in general, the channel can be summarized to help people with their personal finances, relationship, health, and also in general just become a better person. So the topic for today is the red hot topic, Bitcoin. So it's all over the media right now, but I'm just here to, talk about what Bitcoin is, whether you can actually invest in it. I mean, you can, but like whether you should actually invest in it, and whether, it can actually, like all these people, all these investment so-called experts, well, Scott Minerd is actually an expert, but whether all these price predictions are realistic. $400,000. So the price of Bitcoin today is about $32,000. So what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin, basically think of it as a really secure network, and it's like an example would be a peer-to-peer PayPal. So instead of paying heavy fees to PayPal, now you just pay fees to the network, and basically everyone on the network will solve mathematical questions to, get Bitcoins from the network. So it's like a self-ran PayPal. So some key points about Bitcoin is that there's no inflation. So this is what people always argue about, no inflation. So it's not like a government issued currency where, the currency will just devalue over time due to inflation. There's no central authority, meaning there's no like central bank or whatever it is, and it's a public ledger. Again, peer-to-peer PayPal, everyone keeps track of everyone's transactions. So basically, I would have read all this, but I think my explanation is clear enough. So this, first of all, will Bitcoin be able to climb to a $400,000 price target? We'll discuss that later, but okay, today Bitcoin is worth 31,800 and it's down 8%. And in general, I feel that people should be more interested when it's down than when it's up when you're buying an asset. Obviously, if you own the asset, you want the asset to go up, but if it's going down, you should actually be happy because you get to acquire more. But most people just run away when they see it's down. They panic sell and shit like that. So the market cap for Bitcoin is 580 billion, and this is one of the more important metrics. Like, if you look at whether investment can 10x, basically 400 go to 400,000 from 31,000. You look if the market cap can go from 580,000 to 5.8 trillion, which would put it, if I'm not wrong, just behind gold. Maybe it's like number 2 in, total asset value. So basically, Bitcoin operates on blockchain technology. So blockchain is a system of recording information in a way that makes it impossible to change, hack, or cheat the systems. And it stops you from double spending, or, what banks do, which is basically, what do you call that? Stops the system from having a multiplier effect, which in banks, what they do is they collect $1 from you, but they lend out maybe $5, things like that. So here are some of the advantages and the disadvantages of Bitcoin. So I'm going to start with advantages. Store of value, as I just mentioned, 21 million, no inflation. Portable, divisible, acceptable. Acceptability is down to, debate, but right now it's becoming more acceptable Durable, definitely. Low fees, definitely, because it's like, it's you can send 100 million with less fees than PayPal would charge you on like $100,000 or something like that. So nearly impossible for governments to seize because uh, 100 millions of dollars would take up, I don't know, gigantic safe houses, while billion in Bitcoin could be stored in something in the size of pen drive, and it's backed by mathematics, so no hanky panky there. So some disadvantages: incredibly volatile, as you can see. It's down like 10%, 10%, 8% in the past 24 hours. So that kind of counteracts the whole store of value argument. But, it is what it is. Volatility means it can go up or go down. So people are happy when it goes up as well. So it's not central. This is one of the biggest arguments because, people can say, like, in Venezuela or in the US, I fail to recall what year it is, but the government seized gold from people, basically force you to sell them your gold. And in Venezuela, basically, you can only withdraw 10,000 bolivars a day, and that is equivalent to 1/10 of 6 cents, which, if you haven't guessed, is actually not a lot of money. And so, yeah, in that sense, Bitcoin can also be used as like a hedge against global currencies, like all currencies. So, when your governments are not serving your best interest, yeah, Bitcoin would be there for you. But the problem with that is that it is against the government's best interest. So yeah, governments will try to take it down, ban it in their countries and stuff like that, because they can't control it. Okay, but yeah, that's a story for another time. So, but quantum computers. Okay, in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll see quantum computers that will be able to crack Bitcoin wallets potentially if the security doesn't go up. So yeah, that's a huge concern. Huge amount of whales. It's said that I think it's something like 2% of wallets own about 98% of Bitcoin. So yeah, huge wealth disparity in terms of Bitcoins there. Can easily lose millions of dollars because of a simple mistake. Look at this sad guy. He might be smiling, but he's not. This guy's name is Stephen Thomas. He's a Bitcoin millionaire, but only if you can remember his password. So basically, he adopted Bitcoin in 2011, has 7,002 Bitcoin, but he lost the password. So now he has 220 million of Bitcoin stuck in an iron key, which is a device that you can use to store Bitcoins. And yeah, he basically can't access it. So the question of whether you can 10x your investment on Bitcoins, going back to this article, look. So 580 billion to 5.8 trillion. Let me just search gold market cap. So gold stands about 10.6 trillion in market cap. So basically they are saying it'll be about half of the value of gold. I mean, I know it's easy for people to, FOMO into it, means fear of missing out into it, like Bitcoins and shit like that. But you gotta think reasonably, right? These are the same people that 3 years ago said that, like Jamie Dimon, the JP Morgan CEO, said that, Bitcoin is useless just 3 years ago. So, and now he's changed his tone on it. So you got to be careful when people make predictions like that. So whether it can actually reach 10.6 trillion, not 10.6 trillion, my bad, 5.8 trillion, that is subject to debate. But I think people should always consider that, look, it went from 17,000 to 42,000 basically in a straight line in 1 month. And I think this is when the Warren Buffett quote, wait, so wait, let me just search up the image. This is the most famous quote from Warren Buffett. So it says, "I will tell you how you become rich. Close the doors. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful." So basically what he means is, when you see this and everyone's ultra optimistic, well, you might not have sold at the top, but you could have sold somewhere here. And full disclosure, I don't have any positions in Bitcoin right now, so it's I don't know. I guess I have to say that, so to make sure there's no conflict of interest and all that. But basically, what the statement indicates is that when it's running up like that, you want to be fearful because everyone's too optimistic. And when it's going down, you want to start acquiring because it's what we call contrarian investing. So basically, yeah, that is about what I think of it. So in my opinion, you won't be able to 10x your money, and you might not even be able to double your money from this point onward on Bitcoin by the end of the year. Not like everyone claims, you can 10x your money. It can reach 1 million, it can reach 400,000, it can reach 100,000, it can reach 200,000, crazy predictions like that. And, I think people should be responsible enough to know what they're buying into. And in the case of Bitcoin, I wouldn't say there's no place for it as an asset, but as an investment, it's not really an investment, because an investment, you need to be able to know that, okay, when you invest in this, maybe you invest in Facebook shares, you need to know how much money it will make you over the coming years. When you're investing in Bitcoin, it's more of speculation, because I agree there is a use case for it, because, for example, if your government decides, one day they want to start seizing assets, you could just get on a plane and fly out, and you have millions of dollars of Bitcoin intact in your whatever Bitcoin wallet you save it in. But in terms of it gobbling up the whole financial system, I would think it's rather low probability. Like, these people are like saying, because of the money printing by the Fed, and it does put in some degree of thought, but at the same time, the predictions they're making are just like the same predictions people were making in 2017, saying that, when Bitcoin was $3,000, it's going to go to zero, it's worthless, and things like that. So my final thoughts are that I do not think you can 10x your money with Bitcoin, but there is a place for it as an asset. So if it gets really cheap, maybe 3,000, maybe 4,000 to 10,000, yeah, I think you would like to acquire some and have some in your portfolio. But at 30,000, I would say what Kevin O'Leary would say, and say, I'm out. So hope you guys find this video informative and useful in making some decisions if you were gonna talk about buying Bitcoin, because when the prices were skyrocketing, I have friends approaching me saying that they want to buy Bitcoin, but when the prices are getting lower, which in this case the risk is getting lower when prices get lower, and nobody's talking about Bitcoin. So be very careful when euphoria and over optimism hits, because yeah, you can lose a lot, and I mean a lot of money when things like that happen. Because Bitcoin, who knows, today it declines 10%, tomorrow it might appreciate or depreciate. But I think when it comes to an asset like Bitcoin, you have to decide what you think it's worth, instead of just thinking like, oh, everyone's buying, I should run in and FOMO in. So yeah, I know I said that was my final thoughts just now, but yeah, a bit of an extension. But yeah, that's my final thoughts, and I hope you guys found this informative. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you tune in again next time.